Hey 3D2, so here's an introduction to your first Sgraffito project. You're going to be creating a spoon rest or a spoon holder. This is something you would typically find in the kitchen. It's an area to rest your spoon on. Let's say you've been mixing up a sauce and you need to put the spoon somewhere, but you don't want to get your kitchen dirty, so you place it on a spoon rest or a spoon holder. So the objectives for this project is you're going to demonstrate the ability to create a spoon holder using clay, specifically using slabs with templates. You're going to plan a design that uses positive and negative space, lines, and contrast. This is for the Sgraffito. You're also just demonstrating the ability to use the Sgraffito technique as a surface decoration and color application. And also we're using consistent and neat craftsmanship where the application of Sgraffito is purposeful and the placement is well thought out. Here's a few examples of the forms. You're going to have a choice. Your spoon rest can be either circular like this, which has the raised edges with one area that is flat, so the edges are pinched upward and one of the sides is flat to accommodate the spoon. The other option is doing a spoon-shaped spoon rest, where it's spoon-shaped and all of the edges are pinched upward. Here is just an example of a spoon rest that uses Sgraffito. And this is my example right here. Here it is glaze fired. It's all, the colors are much more saturated now. So this is my example spoon-shaped spoon rest. This is my example for my circular spoon rest because again, the edges are pinched upward and then there's a bottom part that is flat, but they both use Sgraffito. So you do have some size requirements. The size is going to depend on the method. Either if it's circular, your spoon rest should be about 5 by 5 inches because it's a circle. If it's spoon shaped, we want to go about 3 inches wide by 9 inches. And we want to use creative and unique illustrations and designs. We're using 4 to 5 different types of lines, and I do have a resource about that. Your designs can be representational and or abstract. Pretty open in terms of how you design the Sgraffito part. There must be at least 50% negative space, as in this is the amount that needs to be scratched away. So we see this raw clay underneath. And be aware we're only using one color for the underglaze. There's all different types of lines. We've got thick and thin, wavy, zigzag, right? All different ways to use lines with Sgraffito. Again, with lines, you can also do something very similar to hatching or cross-hatching, where you're drawing a series of lines that either crisscross or they're all going the same direction. These are dotted lines. This is an example of cross-hatching on a drawn hand, but again, with this effect, we can create different areas of value, and you can pull that off with Sgraffito. And again, just some more examples of forms that use lines in different ways. You can create shapes by carving, where you have a dedicated spot for a shape and then you carve enough around it so it shows up. This obviously has a lot more negative space in this one. This one has a lot of negative space where we see mostly these bright flowers. And something to think about with your design is the positive and negative space. Notice the differences, right? The turtle right above me here that has a lot of empty negative space versus the turtle at the way top that has a lot of positive space, because the positive space is color. So in order to get an outline, their lines need to be doubled. So just think about that when you're planning out your drawing. Also, space and movement is different in each of these cat Sgraffito pottery pieces, right? So again, think about the design, because once it's carved away, you can't put it back on. Where can you get ideas for this project? You can look at things from nature, you can look at Zentangles, cultural symbols, henna designs, mandala designs, even op art, which is optical illusion. I also sometimes like to look at tattoo websites, because tattoos, again, are made out of mostly lines and outlining. Your designs can go in so many different directions for this, but again, you only have a certain amount of space to work with, so keep that in mind. And you do have a piece of paper about this project, which you will be reviewing. Now, there is a lot of information for this project in terms of the steps, but let me just get you started here in this video and you will have access to this. So we definitely start with a template. We want to create the template to figure out how big the actual shape of our spoon rest is going to be. So either you're going to create a template here out of paper for this spoon shape, or you're going to do a circle for the circular shape spoon rest. And again, that circle needs to be at least 5 by 5 inches wide. After that, you will be tracing it onto some clay. Oops. Put it onto some clay here, and then you'll be pinching it upward. I will be showing you, obviously, in class what to do, but again, this gives you just the next steps in the project. So there's your project introduction.